Okay, so now we are on to Chapter 8. In this one, you're going to start with a whole new file. So be sure to go out and grab it before you get started. Actually, two new files. Which is kind of nice because then we get to start with a clean slate again. In this chapter, we talk about payroll, and in this chapter, we learn how to do payroll manually. I know that QuickBooks will do payroll automatically. You just have to put in the hours. But either way, you still have to complete the setup. And in this particular textbook, they teach you how to do it manually. And then I think when you get to the workplace or you are managing your own business, the process of setting it up automatically is very similar to the manual. So one of the first things you have to do is turn on manual payroll. It's not an option that is well used. So we're going to go over here and go to the help, and you're going to type in manual payroll and hit search. And then once you've followed the instructions on page 539 about how to turn on payroll manually, this section will show up. So up here we have the vendors, just like we've had the customer center, and then we move to this employee center. So if you click up here on employees, it takes you to the employee center. And right now we don't have any employees set up here. So I'm going to walk you through the process just really quickly on setting up a new employee. Add an employee and their legal name. And this is the legal name that would be on their social security card. So I'm going to set up myself. And my social security number 123456789. And I'm going to go back and put the dashes in. Gender, I am female, and I'm going to say I was hired today. It's very important to put in their hire date so that you don't have to second guess if you need to go back and do anything. You don't have to go back and think, oh, were they hired in 2012? Were they hired in 2011? You're not having to search through it. So it's saying I clicked OK and it went, wait, stop, you haven't finished setting this up. I only did the first tab. So right over here, I need to finish these additional tabs. So I'm going to go ahead and click Setup Now. I'm single, my allowances. The textbook will tell you exactly what allowances and all of that. So don't get too hung up on that. Out in the workplace, you'd have a W-4 form to copy that from. So state, I'm going to say it's Idaho, and I am subject to Idaho withholding. And then that's not on my payroll item list. So I have to set up Idaho withholding. This box is going to pop up. And I'm going to pay it to the state of Idaho. This is asking you what vendor do you pay your payments to. So we don't have it. So state of, these screens should look very similar. You've set these up. And I'm going to put in a number that they identify me, and we're going to keep track of them in my payroll liabilities account. That is how much I owe the state. Okay. And Idaho unemployment. And you're going to go through this process, and the textbook does a little bit better job of than what I'm doing now. Quick add. Payroll liability, that's the part that's company paid, and expense, that's the part that the employees pay, and then it automatically give you some rates. Again, the textbook will give you all these rates, so don't get too caught up on them. Okay. So next, address. 1234 Main Street, Twin Falls, Idaho 83301. You can put all additional information. If you want to put an account number, You can put in some custom fields. You can do a lot of things. Payroll information. How often do they get paid? You can add in a pay frequency. You can add in direct deposit. You can go into their taxes, which is where we just were. That's how you access this screen again. It's by clicking on taxes right here. And then this would be where their earnings are in. Oh wait, I don't have any earnings. This is my hourly wages. I get paid hourly. And is it regular pay, overtime, sick pay, vacation? It's regular pay. I'm going to put hourly pay. What do you want to name it? It could be a variety of things. And it's going to go to payroll expense. If you wanted it to go someplace else, you would have to put it. But right now, everything we pay to our employees is going to go to payroll expense. And then what's my hourly rate? I'm going to be paid $15 an hour. This is where you would go if you need to edit it again. Here, data hire, release date. This is important to be able to keep track of when people are no longer on your payroll so they don't get double paid. And then it wants to know, are they a regular, officer, statutory, or owner? Okay. So now I have employees on here. So I can go back in and I can do edit employee. And then I have transactions. Oh wait, I don't have any. I don't have any at all. So I can go and I can run home and I can do pay employees. And when I do that, you're going to go into this screen. And here, pay period ending and then what check. So this is the day the pay period end. The check date is the date I actually issue paychecks. Where am I going to pay them from? If I had multiple checking accounts, I might be able to select one of the 5 that I'm going to. And it tells you your bank account balance before. So here you would check how many employees and then their hourly pay. And then hit continue. So here's the next screen. And I can go in here and I can open this check detail. And actually this open check detail is really where you want to be. So I get paid $15 an hour and I worked 15 hours. I just put that in the previous screen. But then in here you're going to have to go through and enter our federal withholding, Social Security, Medicare, Idaho withholding. Because we are doing manual payroll, it doesn't automatically calculate these. Now, if QuickBooks was set up to do automatic payroll, all of these items will be calculated for you. But again, we are not doing automatic payroll, we're doing manual. So here is the amount that's taken out of the employee's paychecks. For instance, if I did $15 worth of withholding and $2.75, again, these are not the right amounts, I'm making them up. The textbook actually does have the correct amounts, and Idaho withholding is $2. And right here is my net check, the amount that is going to be withheld out of, this is the amount withheld out of my paycheck, and this is the amount that's going to come out of my checking account. Now here, this is the amount that the company pays in payroll taxes. So for instance, Social Security, I match. The company has to match that same amount. The other ones I'm going to go ahead and leave blank. So now I have officially done this paycheck. Save and close. Here, gross pay, taxes, deductions, net pay, employer taxes, and I can hit create paycheck. And this box pops up. And I can print paychecks, like I'm actually printing them on a check, or I can print pay stubs. And I'm going to hit print pay stubs, and I'm going to hit preview so I can show you what they look like. They look like this. This is a pay stub. This, if you decided you wanted to go ahead and write a manual check, and then you would just hand this to them. Okay. So the textbook walks you through setting up all the taxes, and you have to be careful. If one of those items is set up incorrectly, things do not look well when you are done. So one of the ways, employees, and then manage payroll items, and view edit payroll items. So for some reason you have got something messed up in the setup, you can go into this screen and look to see if your tax rates are correct. And this is a lot like the chart of accounts for payroll. So keep that in mind as you are going about this? Okay, and so let's take a look at a couple of the payroll reports and what do they look like and what do they tell us. This is the payroll summary. I use this nearly every single day when I worked out in public accounting. So this gives each employee and all the totals. So for instance, this is for January, the entire month of January, and it said Mark worked 160 hours and this was his pay. Then it gives a list down here of our withholding, and then here they had dental and health insurance held out. And then below that is, okay, this is the employee portion of taxes up here, but down here is the employer portion. So employee and employer, and it gives the total for each individual person. And then if you keep going further down, it'll give you a total for everyone for the entire month for everyone right here on this report. So this is a good way when things are not looking like they're supposed to. I love this report. So how do I know this report's correct? Well, there's a couple of different things. So Social Security on both the employee and the company, those should match. Social Security and Medicare should match. There should only be federal withholding from an employee. So those are a couple of items that you can look at to kind of verify that it is correct. Now I want to look at this payroll report. Total payroll liabilities. This is the balance. This is how much has not been paid. Not been paid. So this is another thing to look at. Again, Medicare employee and Medicare company should match. If these two numbers, this number, let me draw boxes. If this number right here and this number do not match, you have done something incorrectly. So the same thing for Medicare. Those should all match. It's not really optional. Okay. So that is pretty much it for payroll. There is a part in here where you create a new employee and it asks you to print a screen. And if you pass that up, there is no way to go back. So be sure that you are following the directions extremely carefully, setting up payroll rates, how much is being deducted, and all of that fun stuff. And of course, please let me know if you have any questions at all. And I would be more than happy to help in any way I can. And good luck with Chapter 8.